Shalom, shalom. We're the Brothers of Great Millstone, Charlotte, coming at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And before we get started with this lesson, we'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you we say shalom.
Shalom. So essentially, we're going to go into another edition of Ha'alat Bayath, the alphabet, Awath, Na, Wa, Sa, which is Na and Sa. All right, because we left off on it was Kwa through Sha, which pretty much we skipped, but now we're going back to Na to Sa, all right, and then so on and so forth, but we're going to start with Na. All right, and Kwawal, which is the sound, Kwawal is Na, Masapar, which is number, Chamashim, which is 50. Dabar is 9, all right, which is Dabar is the word. Did you have the picture?
Image. God. You able to see it?
Not yet.
I think you gotta let me share the screen.
How I do that? God, I did. I shared it.
Come on. Is it working?
Lie. I mean, yeah, I can see it, but it's not. The picture's not on the screen.
Oh shit. Salakia.
Okay.
Let me get this. Bear with me.
Okay.
See it now?
Okay, yep, there it is. All right, so we're looking at Na and Sha. Could you scroll in or no? All right, Khan. And then third from the left or third from the right will be Na, which is a typo right there. It says none, but it will be non. All right, and the letter is Na. Awath, ha'awath, Na. The letter Na. All right, it says seed, son, heir, sprout, life, throne, offspring. It says chamashim or chamashyam. And non, when you break that word down, it's na is seed, na is seed. So seed of a seed. The definition of the word, it says the seed is the continuation of life from the parent plant. The cycle continues generation after generation. All right. And could we go ahead and get Psalm chapter 72 and verse 17? Because like all the letters Baha'u'llah Bayat in the alphabet, they all are a form or a type of Yahweh Shah or a prophecy that he essentially pretty much fulfilled. You know, the scriptures say that he came not to destroy but to fulfill.
Right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 72 and verse 17. And it reads, his name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun. And men shall be blessed in him. All nations shall call him blessed.
Right, it says his name shall endure forever. His name shall be continued as long as the sun, and men shall call him blessed. All nations shall call him blessed. You know, because pretty much going into his kingdom. You know, it's going to start with Yahweh Shah on down to the 144,000, because the scriptures say that the 144,000 are joint heirs. You see, but this word non goes into continuance. If we get this word for continued, it says hadabar nawan, all right, which is the word nawan, and it says nawan, which is related to non. It says continue, to increase, propagate, to increase, to be perpetual. It says be continued. It says to re-sprout, because the scriptures say that pretty much the Lord is going to call Zion, roughly paraphrasing, by a new name, Isaiah 62. You know, that's why it says to re-sprout. You know, it says to sprout. It says name shall flourish. So I'm reading from the top. According to Katayab, to sprout, to put forth. It says as long as the sun remains, his name shall flourish. Progeny, it says a fish so called from its being so prolific. Hey, in the kingdom, we're gonna pretty much flourish. The scriptures say that the righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. Roughly paraphrasing Psalm the 92nd chapter. All right, from verse 12, on down. So from there, can we get 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 12 to 16? Because it's talking about a seed. With your seed, you pretty much your progeny is those that come after you.
Fine. This is 2 Samuel chapter 7, and where you want me to start at?
Verse 12.
Verse 12. It reads, "And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom."
Mm-hmm.
It says, "He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever."
Right. So it says, what verse did you stop at?
13.
13. So it says, and when thy days be fulfilled, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed. All right, seed in Bahalashwan Kodash is non after thee, Malak Shalama, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. And how do you establish something? Pretty much it starts with the seed, because Yahweh Shah was the seed of David. All right. And it says, he shall build an house for my name, King Solomon, who was Yahweh Shah in the regeneration, and I will establish his throne. I will establish his throne forever. All right, because pretty much it says, the seed is the continuation of life from the parent plant. The cycle continues generation after generation. That's forever. That's a long time, You keep going.
May I get something for you real quick, just to back up that point?
You got it.
This is Isaiah 11 and verse 10. It says, "And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious." So, this is talking about Yahweh Shah, right? Being that root, that stemmed out of Jesse, which is Joseph's father, right?
Yep. Jesse is King David's father.
Oh, King David's father. Yep. You're right.
So from there we can go down to verse 16. That's 2 Samuel 7.
Want me to read down, or you want me to jump to 16?
No, you read down.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 14. It says, "I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the stripes of the children of men."
Right, and this didn't happen with Malak Shalamah, King Solomon. All right, this was when Yahweh Shah came in regeneration. When he came in as his actual self, when he didn't commit any iniquity, which he paid for the sins when he sinned as Adam, when he sinned as King Solomon.
Verse 15. "But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee."
Right, because King Saul, Saul was going off. He was wicked.
Right. Verse 16. "And thine house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before me. Thy throne shall be established forever."
Right, pretty much going into continuance. If non is in a word, it goes into continuance. That's why it says seed, son, heir, sprout, life. All right, in order to have life, you don't only survive, you thrive. So continue. You're able to continue. You can keep multiplying and multiplying. It says throne, offspring. Yahweh Shah ultimately is that seed, that son, that heir, that sprout, that life. The throne, he sits upon the throne of David. All right, he's that offspring. All right, that shot out of that offspring of Jesse. The son of David. From there, could we get 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1, Baba Kusha?
May I read this in the NLT? The 2 Samuel 7 and 16.
Yeah, you good.
It pretty much goes into that word continue. It says 2 Samuel 7 and 16 in the NLT. "Your house and your kingdom will continue before me for all time, and your throne will be secure forever." So just backing up your point, that pretty much going into that word continue, right? Continuance, pretty much being established, right? And it goes into that word also throne right there, will be secure forever, right? Because the throne is pretty much handed down, right? Whoever the king's son is handed down to his son and to his son to his son, right? It's pretty much like a lineage that's being handed down, right?
Right.
What'd you say you want me to get?
From let me see. You can get Psalm chapter 89, start at verse 20. I'm gonna get this.
This
First
is
Kings
Psalms.
2:1. I'm gonna read this. This is First Kings 2:1. It says, "Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Shalamah his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth, be thou strong therefore, and shew thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy power to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Mashah, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself." So pretty much this is what, the orders, that King David passed on in the spirit to King Solomon, but King Solomon King Solomon was his actual seed, which in the regeneration was Yahweh Shah, which is, it says non seed of a seed, which a seed essentially is the family lineage. That's why when you go into Numbers, it says pretty much they numbered by the progeny or the lineage of their fathers.
Mm-hmm. Con. This is Psalm chapter 89 and verse 20. It reads, "I have found David my servant, with my holy oil have I anointed him."
Because King David was anointed to be king. The Lord said in that same scripture that we got, 2 Samuel the 7th chapter, it said that he took David from being a sheep herder, roughly paraphrasing, to be king over Yasharallah, the people.
Right. Verse 21, it says, "With whom my hand shall be established, mine arm also shall strengthen him."
Right. It says, "With whom my hand shall be established." Let me get this in the NLT. And it says, "I will steady him with my hand, with my powerful arm will I make him strong," which we understand that, the Lord's right hand, the Lord's right arm is Yahweh Shah, because Yahweh Shah is going to be established, like we got in 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter.
Right. Verse 22, "The enemy shall not exact upon him, nor the son of wickedness afflict him." It says, "And I will beat down his foes before his face, and plague them that hate him."
All right, because the scriptures say that it says, "And I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him." Let me get this real fast. This is Psalm, the 2nd chapter, and the 8th verse. It says, "As of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel." All right, going back to Psalm 89, and we was at verse 22. It says, "The enemy shall not," 23, it says, "I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him." So pretty much, the heathen going to be in subjection,
Right. Yeah, they pretty much are literally going to get beat down.
Mm-hmm.
The Most High is going to give us that power to be able to beat them down and have them under subjection. Right. That's essentially going to be the establishment of the kingdom of us having that power.
Right. You keep going to 29.
Con. Verse 20, 24, it says, "But my faithfulness and my mercy shall be with him, and in my name shall his horn be exalted.
Mm-hmm.
I will set his hand also in the sea, and his right hand in the rivers. He shall cry unto me, Thou art my Father, my power, and the rock of my salvation. Also I will make him my firstborn, higher than the kings of the earth."
Right. It's talking about Yahweh Shah, because the scripture said that pretty much he was the firstborn, the first creation, the first creature, so that he can have preeminence over all the creation, roughly paraphrasing. So it says, "I will also make him my firstborn," which when you go into that firstborn, it should be Ra'ash. Or it says Bakar, which means firstling, but Bakar, I think that goes into to be born first, new fruit. It says to constitute as firstborn, which usually when you got the firstborn, they get the best blessing.
Right, and pretty much they inherit everything that their father has.
Right.
Especially when they pass away, they inherit everything. Of course, in the Most High, since Yahushua is the firstborn, he gave him, power, and gave him a dominion over the earth and over everything, really.
And I think it's a scripture that goes into that as well.
Right.
It says, I'm not sure where it's at, but it says that if they're the firstborn, they get a double blessing. They get like blessed twice or something like that. But it's all good. We don't got to get it.
Con.
Psalm 89 and what was it? 26, 27. It says, also I will make him my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth, which scripture say that when Yahweh shall come back, he come in to wound the heads of many nations. It says, my mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne is the days of heaven. So forever, we got the word seed, all right, endure forever, and then throne. All of those are found in 9. It says seed, son, all right, Yahweh Shah, heir, sprout, life, all right, throne and offspring, pretty much all corresponding with the kingdom of heaven, Yahweh Shah's kingdom.
That's right.
And just to prove that point, could you get my Dati of Matthew chapter 22 and verse 41 to 46? I'm gonna get Isaiah 9 and 6.
Con. Let me go ahead and read it.
Kyle, you got it.
Matthew 22 and verse 41. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahushua asked them, saying, what think ye of Hamashiach? Whose son is he? Then they say unto him, the son of David. He said unto them, how then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, Yahweh said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool.
All right, so it says they say unto him the son of David, all right, because he's the seed of a seed. So it says, he saith unto them, how then doeth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, the Lord saith unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. Pretty much alluding to, I believe it's Psalms like the 110th chapter, if I'm not mistaken.
Can't remember. For which one?
Psalms, let me see. It's somewhere in Psalms. We don't got to get it, but it's in Psalms. Might be, let me see if I pull it up. This is Psalm chapter 110. And, no, it's not 110. It's all good. It's in Psalm somewhere, though. But we can continue on.
Continuing on. Matthew 22 and verse 45. If David then call him Lord, how is he his son? And no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions.
Which in the regeneration, he came from the lineage of David, you see, but he was also King Solomon, but Yahweh Shah actually came from the lineage of King David. When you go to Matthew, the first chapter, it actually goes into that, But then it says, I'm going to go back to verse 42. It says, saying what ye think, Matthew 22 and 42, it says, saying what think ye of Hamashiach, whose son is he? They say unto him, the son of David, you see, because pretty much that letter Nah or the letter Nah, it goes into seed, son, heir, sprout, life, throne, offspring, which when you break that word non down, actually goes into seed of a seed, So he was a seed of pretty much the throne of, King David. And then also going into actual son, sprout, heir, life, throne, offspring, pretty much from that progeny,
Right.
And just to go into that, because seed or life that actually goes into continuance and forever. So this is Yashaya, Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6. It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a child is given, a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end upon the throne of David. All right, it's thrown in that word or that letter, Nah, throne. It says upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it and to establish. All right, a seed has to be established in order to grow into the dirt. It says to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. It says forever. All right, a seed is forever,
Mm-hmm.
And that pretty much went into Nah. Nah goes again. La Marsha not to say again, Na goes into a non, a seed of a seed, and it ultimately alludes to Yahweh Shah.
Con.
So from there, we're going to go to Sa, which is Samak. All right, Dabar, Samak. The word Samak, which means to support. So we can start with, actually, can you zoom in a little bit?
Con. I think that's the most I can.
Uh-huh. So it says Samak, which is a typo with the CH, but it should be a Ka. So it's Sa-ma wa Ka. All right, Samak, which Y is and it says grab, assist, support, lean on, protect. So when you have the Sa, a Sa goes into support because that's what Samak means. That Ma goes into water. All right, and then that Ka goes into power. Because if you got some Ka means your palm. If I got something in my hand, like it's in the power of my hand, I can grab it. So Samak goes into sustain, support, water, and power. So it's the definition or the meaning behind that word will go into sustained and supported by water, giving it power. All right, and what I mean by that is I'm gonna get Psalm 23, 1-4. You can get John 4, 9 to verse 15, but this is Psalms Dahoyim, chapter 23. We get verse 1. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, but thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." Now I want to get this word for staff. And it says, thy staff, it says, mash aina. It says support of every kind, staff. It says sustenance, or concretely a walking staff, support abstractly. All right, hasharash the bar, the root word, mash ain. So and it says a support. It says, i.e., figuratively, a protector or sustenance. It says support of every kind, Strong's G lexicon, e.g., as it is said, it says a little after of food and drink. Also, the chief persons of a nation on whom they lean, as to use of the masculine and feminine form joined together. See my comment on Isaiah, all right, which pretty much is the point. It says the chief person on whom they lean. All right, and when you lean on something, that means you pretty much supported by it. So when you go into this, it says sustained and supported by water. Because when we get this definition, a staff ultimately, that's a position. That's something that pretty much supports us. Who is that staff on the whom the nation leans? That will be Yahweh Shah, which the scriptures also call it, which we're going to get. Because this word goes into Samak. Sa goes into sustain or support. Ma goes into Mayan, which is that water. Ka goes into Kap, which is your palm, but then also figuratively the power. But it says sustained and supported by water. What would be that water? It would be Yahweh Shah. The scriptures say that like we can go ahead and get it. John chapter 4.
This is the book of John, chapter 4, and verse 9. It reads, "Then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans." Yahushua answered and said unto her,
Which if I'm not mistaken, back then it was going into kings, in the ancient world, pretty much was transplants in there. So she wasn't of the nation of Yasha'Allah.
Right. Because when you look at the back in the ancient times, there was lions or whatever that attacked the people that were put there by some king of Assyria, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much they were getting attacked by lions, so they had to get a priest to come and teach them the ways of the Israelites in order to keep the laws of the land, in order for them not to get attacked no more. So eventually, to process the time, they came to believe that they were actually the people of that descended from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
But continuing on, John 4 and 10, Yahushua answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence has from Salakia, from whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? See, so right there, she even saying our father Jacob when they're not the children of Jacob.
Right.
But continuing on, 13, Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life.
Right, into everlasting life, which we from the letter Nah. All right, we got life, spring, or life, offspring, throne, son. Roughly paraphrasing. So Yahushua will be that throne, that seed. Just like he's that water. Because again, he represents the whole alphabet. Even in the Spanish alphabet, the German alphabet, whatever. Like all the alphabets pretty much stem from Ha'alat Bayat, the alphabet. But that water is Yahushua, which was at verse 16 or 15.
That was 15.
Because I want to get this. This is the word for samak. It says to lean, to lay, to rest, support, put, uphold, lean upon, to lean or lay upon, rest upon, lean against, to support, uphold, sustain, to support or brace oneself, to sustain, refresh, revive. You see, so mayam, when you drink water, like I'm gonna get a quick one real fast. Let me get this. This is Salat. This is Judges chapter 15 and verse 19. Verse 16, it says, Judges 15 and 16, and Shamashwan, Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand and called the place Ramoth Lehi, and he was sore athirst, and called on the Lord and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised. With the Most High clave and hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof En-Hakkore, which is in Lehi unto this day. And he judged Yasha'Allah in the days of the Philistines 20 years. So pretty much going into when you actually drink true water, or the spiritual water, you're going to be revived in the spirit, And if you actually drink like regular water, like, that's not this water that we're drinking now, you will be revived. So when you pretty much, which is a similitude for when you consume your Yahushua spiritually, you'll be revived. So this is why I want to go back to this word. It says that word for samak, and it says to sustain, refresh, revive, in which we got that word in Psalms 23, the 23rd chapter. It said the chief person upon whom the nation lean. All right, so from there, let's get 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 20, Baba Kushah. And I'm gonna get Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 26.
Khan. This is 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 20, and it reads, which you said verse 20, right?
Khan, yep.
20? Khan.
Yep.
It says, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of the Most High waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was a preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were saved by water.
Mm-hmm.
The like figure whereunto even baptism doth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward the Most High, by the resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach.
Right, which that comes by the baptism of the word, by the word, which right. that was Noah was he was baptized in 40 days. The letter Awath Mayam. All right, Awath is letter, Mayam is water. Arabayim, which will be 40. Pretty much it took 40 days for the water was on the earth, and then it dissipated. It went away. But pretty much that water is representative of 40. Going into Noah's baptism. Which now, we're baptized by taking heed to the word. So could we get I'm gonna get Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 26, and it says 25, it says, husbands, love your wives, even as Hamashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word. And it says that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that it should be holy and without blemish. So pretty much, we was washed by this word. The elect is going to be washed by the word, which represents Yahweh Shah. All right, because we're going to that letter Samak or Sa. All right, that Mayam, that water, that represents Yahweh Shah. Pretty much what washes the elect.
Con. I got a quick one for you.
Con.
Going into how this word pretty much gives us life, right? This is John 6 and verse 63, and it reads, "It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." Right. So this is Yahweh Shah saying this, right? These words, the words that from the scriptures, which is Yahweh Shah, really, ultimately that's what's giving us life. Ezekiel the 37th chapter, right? We were those dry bones, but now that we heard this word, now we're coming back to life. You got it, Doc.
Right. I got one more, and that's it. We didn't have none.
Con.
So I'm gonna get Job Ayawah chapter 23 and verse 10, and it says Job 23 and verse 10. It says, because we're going into Samak. All right, Sa is the letter for it. Samak is the word. All right, this is Job 23 and 10. It says, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold, because the elect is going to be tried forth as gold in that fire. All right, in that adversity. So it says, my foot hath held his steps, his way have I kept and not declined. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my necessary food. And pretty much that's being stated is because Samak, all right, we just got, Psalms 23 verses 1-4, that true staff, Mash Ain, all right, or Mash Ainah, all right, which that's the staff in Psalm the 23rd chapter in the 4th verse, pretty much going to Yahweh Shah, but also symbolically, he represents that water. You see, so pretty much he's what supports us. You see, so that's why Job said, he hasn't gone back from the words of his lips. You see, because Yahweh Shah is esteemed. It says, I have esteemed the words of his mouth, which represents Yahweh Shah, more than my necessary food, because this word is going to sustain you. It's going to make sure that that you pretty much everything is supplied for you. You're not going to go without. That's why this says this right here. This is Taharyim, Psalm chapter 37. And verse 25, it says, I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaking, nor his seed begging bread. You see, so the Lord has always provided for his men, his believers. Pretty much going into that word Samak, Hadabar Samak. All right, the word Samak, which means to support, sustain, all right, by that true water. All right. Because again, that word means sustained and supported by water, giving it power. And that true power, all right, will be Yahweh Shah,
Con.
That's pretty much all I had.
Con. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Con. Hey, well, I don't want to Zaza by night. Apollo was with us, a beautiful edification through the spirit. Why I don't want to Zaza, Adam Yashlai lots of why. Lord's will you all have a good night. Why we can go ahead and close it out by saying, Call Halayim La, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham Cha Kodash. A double honor to the elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us his truth and rule well. Much respect to you bros out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Wa halayallah to wa blah which is good night unto you all. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.